This is the iPhone 8. It was released just about 4 years ago and marked the end of an iPhone design era that stretched all the way back to the iPhone 4. Big bezels on the top and bottom of the screen, and a physical home button on the front. Despite the fact the iPhone 10 came out a little over a month later to steal the show, the 8 was still solid in its own non-flashy or groundbreaking way. Today, I'm talking about whether that pleasant boringness of this phone makes it still a good choice in 2021. So I could definitely start things off by talking more about the design, and how this phone and its screen are small for 2021, and how its look with the chins and the home button is kinda outdated, or how the weight and glass back still feels nice in the hand despite all that. But I won't, because we're probably already all familiar with the design of this phone. Again, it's a classic, and what you see is what you get in this department. I'm going to move into other categories to see how they stack up in 2021, starting with performance. This phone's powered by the best phone chipset Apple made at the time, the A11 Bionic, plus 2GB of RAM, and that combo gives you excellent performance even in 2021. It's one of the things we expect and kind of take for granted from iPhones, that they remain super smooth with guaranteed software updates long into the future, but it's another thing as a tech enthusiast to handle a phone from 2017 with performance that feels as much like a flagship today as it did back then. And as you know, I also review a lot of Android phones that are released more recently and designed to be cheap, and it's nothing but an objective statement to say that those phones slow down or develop glitches way more readily than iPhones. We do gotta keep in mind the phone's pushing very few pixels for these days, and it doesn't have any crazy camera tricks like a lot of modern phones do, so there are less features that could bottom out the processor, but that doesn't take away from the fact that day-to-day performance is smooth, nothing else to it. Let's talk about the cameras on the iPhone 8, not to be confused with Apple's hardware-software integration. Outside of the actual quality of the photos and videos you'll get through the camera app on this iPhone, there is of course the fact that iPhone cameras play their part in third-party apps infinitesimally better than on Android. Shooting with Instagram filters directly from the app and using Snapchat is going to be much smoother and more reflective of the quality with the iPhone 8. There are ways to get around this with Android phones, like how I'll shoot videos with the Pixel's camera app, bring that into Instagram stories, and then apply filter after the fact if I want to. But again, iPhones take the crown for integration. But the baseline camera quality with the iPhone 8, for me, doesn't hold up too great in 2021. The main thing that really stands out to me is dynamic range, where it's easy to blow out skies, or lamps, or sunlit areas, and I can't even lie, zooming into these photos really deteriorates the quality as well. You kind of get that characteristic low resolution detail loss in addition to visible noise reduction. I'm probably a bit spoiled for my Pixel, so to be clear, what I'm not saying is that this isn't a functional camera these days. You can absolutely take great photos by being mindful of what hardware limitations you allow to peek through in the final picture. And with that being said, I'm going to show you some photos straight from the camera of the iPhone 8. Other things to note in your day-to-day experience with the iPhone 8 is that you will be running the latest version of iOS today and probably a couple years into the future, which is not something that can be said of a lot of this phone's Android brethren. Also, the fingerprint reader on this guy is honestly a pleasure to use and one of the best I've used in recent years, and the haptics with the 8 are honestly amazing to this day. I don't think Apple should have ever removed the option of a fingerprint reader from the iPhone, so going back to this amazing combo of a fingerprint reader and the tactile feedback is dope. My conclusion with the iPhone 8 hinges on whether you want a phone with flashy features for a little bit or a reliable phone for a while. And honestly, there's no shame in wanting flashiness because tech moves fast and upgrading every year or so isn't inherently bad. In that case, you could buy yourself a new Android phone for the price of the 8 used that'll get you a much bigger screen with more pixels and thinner bezels, a flashier design, more camera features, you name it. By the way, I did a video on some phones that offer features like that at low prices. But what you're not going to get with that choice is reliability, guaranteed software updates, and crazy nice smoothness going into the future. That's all stuff this iPhone 8 offers even in 2021. Bonus points if you're already in the Apple ecosystem or like this classic design, because this is especially good value for people with that sentiment. But yeah, that's the iPhone 8 in 2021. Like I said in the intro, solid in its own non-flashy or groundbreaking way. Thanks for being here today. Subs if you loves as always, drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time.